Welcome, everyone. My name is Randy Anderson. I'm Chief Operations Officer here at Modexus, and we're going to begin today the first recording of a four-part series, and we're going to be talking about our new flagship product for the gold standard line, Probio Balance. So at the top of the label, it says the gold standard in clinically proven probiotic metabolic support. That's really, really key. So in a nutshell, that tells you the full, the full story, or it encompasses the full story of what this incredible nutrition is all about. If you look on down the label, there are four key bullet points: promotes healthy gut microflora, enhances optimal lipid levels, lowers dietary cholesterol absorption, and supports cardiovascular health. So what we're going to do today on part one, we're going to really zero in on promotes healthy gut microflora. And I can't think of two better people to have presenting to you today. It's the members of our Product Research Council here at Modexus, Alan Ogden, he's in Vancouver, Canada, and then also Dr. Charlie Rouse, who's in Albany, Georgia. But we're gonna go to Alan first in Vancouver and let him kick this off. It is always fantastic to see you, sir. And I know I've had so many people when we did our first initial discovery call the other night. So many people have reached out to me. So many I can't keep up and said, I've never seen Alan so excited. I've never seen Dr. Rouse so excited. And there's a good reason to be excited. So the floor is all yours, sir. Promotes healthy gut microflora. We want to learn everything we can.
Well, very good. It's always a pleasure to be here. And one of the challenges I think that practitioners, Dr. Rouse, myself, and many others over the years have had is understanding the need for great gut flora. And that's a big topic, by the way. It's estimated that we have as many bacteria in our intestinal tract as we do in the rest of our body. So if we put that into perspective, that's somewhere around 3 or 4, if it just could gather up that microflora on its own and put it somewhere, it's somewhere between 3.5, maybe even up to 5 pounds of matter that you would have all in one glump, if I can use that word. And I think a lot of people don't understand that our intestinal tract, the length of it and the design of it, if we took our intestinal tract and we flattened it out, it would cover a football field. And that's really hard for us to imagine, that we have that type of surface area to digest our food, because we're not that big. But because of how the gut is constructed, and it has all of these villi, they're called, in them. So there's these little channels all over, and little hair-like structures that, if we pull that all apart and just laid it out in one big flat area. And so now what we have in there is we have bacteria. And the purpose of the bacteria in our microflora is literally it's kind of two things. One is to help with the digestion of our food, and the other is also to be a defense mechanism against things that shouldn't come into our body. So other bacteria, maybe some things like plastics, maybe some things like toxins that we're not aware that are coming in our food. When I was in university, we used to get a report all the time about things like just where Health Canada would be doing an inspection on food that's imported, and there would be all sorts of things in that food, insect parts and all kinds of things. And there was some limits to that, and some allowable limits, because that just can't be prevented. But when that happens, then we have this microflora, which is a really great defensive mechanism, as well as really, our food comes into our stomach, it gets broken into individual parts, and then it passes into our intestinal tract, where the final absorption of our food happens, the final digestion of food, and this separation of things that happens in our digestive tract. So certainly we want to pay attention to that, and there's many things that we now understand will damage that microflora, including environmental toxins, plastics, drugs are another thing, and drugs are ubiquitous in our society. It's very hard to find somebody over the age of 50 in North America that isn't on some type of medication. Actually, in my pharmacy practice, we used to tell people that the consumption of drugs was mostly in people under the age of 5 and over the age of 55. So there's a little span in there where people seem to be able to maybe avoid that a little bit more. But I think that window has actually closed over the years. So these are really necessary and important parts of our prevention of disease system, and also, getting nutrients into our body. And one of the things that surprised me when I first sat down and we started talking about Probio Balance with the people that were helping us understand the ingredients and how we could put them together, and the whole process, was this vast array of knowledge that has now emerged on individual probiotics that are in our intestinal tract and their activity. And what this company has done, and Dr. Rouse may talk about this a little bit more in their research, is actually looked at these individual strains and discovered that there's parts of those strains that have more activity than the rest. And they've really focused on bringing the best of the best in all of their probiotic strains. So it is really a huge science. It's a huge area of expansion in healthcare now, to look at what's going on in our intestinal tract and how can we help our body be more proactive in the prevention of disease, in getting nutrients in our body, which of course is going to help us as well. And Probio Balance is a fantastic way and a perfect place to start this whole process for us. So Dr. Rouse, I'll pass it over to you.
Well, that's a mouthful, and what a blessing that is to be in the Modexus family with the Probio Balance already coming together. It took years of research. It took massive years of getting things done. The company that did the clinical studies and put together the 3 strains of probiotic that we're very interested in and brought into the Modexus family, they realized that in Western society, Canada, America, your gut flora was no good. It could not even be used in research. It was that pathetic. It's that out of whack. And so they had to go elsewhere in the world. They went to certain populations in rural and remote areas that had the most diverse microbiome. And Konica is to be thumbs up and congratulated for the research. And when they got through in the clinical studies, they were finding these gut flora that were specific in helping people's needs. And so when Modexus was able to meet with Konica and find out what did they have to offer, we were looking at three major investments in one product. We wanted to certainly work on your digestion, and we certainly wanted to work on your immune system. And the bonus was they came back and says, we're going to help your heart, your cardiovascular system. And I said, let me get this right. You've got one probiotic in 3 separate strains that is gut specific, and less is more than taking a whole lot more. And they said, that is exactly right. I said, wow, we're fixing the gut flora. Gut healthiness plays a major role in your brain activity, your heart activity, your immune system activity. So here we were. We knew that we were very interesting. And then Alan, being the pharmaceutical genius he is, they were able to connect with abilities to get this gut flora, the microbiome, the probiotic, inside an enteric-coated capsule. I mean, hey, who would have ever thought that Japanese seaweed could be used to bring something so valuable, to get it past the stomach, into the colon, where all the activities going on. So here we go. Probio Balance is the major nutrition of choice in all the probiotic line. There's nothing like it. It's unique. We're looking after your gut. We're looking after your heart. We're looking after your immune system. It's a 3-in-1 spectrum. And with that are 3 specific, very stable, very well researched probiotics. And in this family, what happens with Modexus was we matched the milligram for milligram, the unit for unit. We went right to the research and didn't scrimp or change anything in the pattern. So we knew that, wow, we've got what people needed. When people come along and they say, but Dr. Charlie, I need help with gas and bloating and abdominal pain. Well, there you go. You got it. Gut flora that's specific for the digestion. We're not going to let you down over there. And yeah, it goes after all those bad bacterias like E. coli and C. diff and things we don't want causing, the scoots or diarrhea. We don't want constipation or diarrhea. We want our gut to be healthy and happy. And the nice thing about it was that it's safe. I mean, even pregnant women could take it. Little children could take it. Older age, people that are on a plethora of pharmaceutical medications. It was unique in that when this enteric capsule goes into the colon, it releases what the body's been looking for. Acidophilus plantarum is the #1 probiotic out of all the many probiotics that are available, but it comes in 3 unique strains. And in these 3 unique strains, they were harvested in a certain part of the world that brought a microbiome that was just beyond our greatest imagination. And we're privileged at Modexus to be connected to the Kanika research, to have the probiotic of all probiotics. And we have to get it around our mind that, you mean less is more? Yeah, we're talking about 1 specific probiotic with 3 specific strains, and it's better than those probiotics I got sitting on my shelf over there that say 15 different strains, 100 billion. I said, oh my goodness, I got one that's better than 15 different with 100 billion. I said, yep. And so Alan and myself, we were able to get schooled. We were able to get taught by the research team, by the people who did the work. And you know what? They certainly gave me an education and a total convincing. And now I understand what probiotics are all about. So every day, 1 a day, Dr. Charlie is into it. And I'm taking, and I'm going to keep on taking, because I want my digestion, I want my heart, and I want my immune system looked after. And we need to be very grateful to that man right there. Alan just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and everything just crossed the path. And he had enough sense to say, whoa, wait a minute, what did you just say? And here we go. Modexus, you've got something the world's waiting on.
Absolutely. I did want to pick up on one thing that Charlie said about the enteric capsule, because we have had some questions with regard to certainly children that are on the spectrum and have a real difficult time with capsules, swallowing capsules. And so I reached out on Friday, got my answer this morning from the research team, and they assured me that although it's not as potent as taking the enteric coated capsule, that if somebody is on the spectrum and just cannot swallow a capsule, they can take the product out of the capsule, put it into a smoothie type drink. And the secret is to drink it immediately. Don't let it sit around, just drink it down immediately. Just make sure that they're not taking it with too much sugar. And there will be beneficial effects for those individuals. So I know that was a big question, and I did get that answer just this morning. So I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that for those people that have that concern. For everyone else, here's what I believe is going to happen. We're going to take this capsule, and within a few days, we're going to feel so different because our digestion is going to improve so dramatically. Like Dr. Charlie says, I mean, I think we just learned to accept some discomfort with our food, not understanding that that can be changed, because as he said, our probiotics here can't even be in our gut, can't even be used for research. They're that poor. And now we're going to put something in there that is going to settle in. It'll start to grow. And I believe we're going to hear stories back from people that are going to be amazing in the fact that they went, well, I just kind of accepted I was going to have a little discomfort. I was going to have a little gas. I was going to be a little bloated once in a while. And when that all goes away and they start to really feel different. And then here's the other thing, and I think we're really going to experience this in a lot of children, because children are such picky eaters. And I think we're going to see them have the ability to actually eat different types of foods than they're used to because they couldn't digest them. And now they're going to be able to digest them without discomfort. And that's going to make a huge difference to their health. Same with the elderly. I think it's the same with the elderly. So like you said, Randy, I've never been so excited about a product in my life. This is something that the world has been waiting for. And when I heard about it, I jumped right on top of it. And thank you to you, Randy, for having the vision to push this forward with Modexus as well. So back to you, Randy.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Dr. Charlie. It's truly been an incredible team effort all the way around, and it hadn't happened overnight. It's taken hours and hours, weeks and weeks, days and days, however you want to measure it, and a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of learning on the admin side, a lot of work getting this ready for you. So this is the first of 4 recordings that we're going to do, one on each one of these key points for this product. So this has been the gold standard in clinically proven. Yep, you're going to hear this over and over again because it's definitely the message you want to get out there. The gold standard in clinically proven probiotic metabolic support. And this session has been about promotes healthy gut microflora. You guys are awesome. Thank you to you both. And until next time, everyone, stay healthy.